All right, Thursday, June 5th. This is the Lion Channel. I'm John, day 35 of my manifesting journey, and I can't tell you how good I feel today. Um, as I talk about, as I've talked about previously, every day is not happier. Okay, yesterday was one of those days where it certainly wasn't happier. Um, it was actually, like I said last night, full of challenges. It was just like from start to finish. Okay, just challenge after challenge, just me having to just detach and constantly remind myself this is a situation, looking at situation after situation, what's the wisdom I can gain from this? How can I see this in a way to, look at it like this is happening for me? And sometimes it's just happening for you because you had negatively reacted to it in the past, and so you recreated it. Okay, so the wisdom that you gain from it is just don't react this time. Just, you know, just detach. It's easier said than done sometimes, but that's why I keep preaching and, making these videos to as a reminder for me and a reminder for anyone who's watching this that, the way it works is exactly what I'm explaining here. So the more you hear it, the more I say and remind you that this is a simulation, the more you hear it, the more you become open to it, the more you start looking for glitches that I talk about all the time on here in your own life. And when you see those glitches over and over again, and you realize how your imagination, things that you're seeing in your imagination, start to show up over and over and over again in your reality, then it becomes a knowing to where you're like, okay, whatever I imagine, that's what I'm seeing. I imagine it and then I see it. Sometimes it's faster than others. But the more you do it, the more it gets solidified as a belief and the less you really have to think of it. And so, yes, the subconscious starts giving you more, and then you just level up and you become that person. So like last night when I was laying in bed, I was kind of like, you know I was thinking about the day a little bit, but not too much. And I was really exhausted, especially like mentally, but I still went into my wish fulfilled. And I didn't really think too much. But I woke up this morning and it just I felt incredible, because then this morning I was able to really, like, I woke up, I had processed the whole day and what happened, and I woke up today with this new energy. And so it's like 9:30 now, and this is the earliest I've ever made a video. And maybe the lesson and the wisdom that I'm supposed to take from yesterday is maybe I want to start making these videos earlier in the day before all this stuff happens. Because the later and later it got in the day, the less and less I wanted to make a video, because it was just, and you could see in the video last night, I probably looked like really tired, like I really had to push through to make that video, because the last thing you want to do is come on here and make a video and say, hey, I'm, day 34, I'm making a video just because I said I was going to make a video, like, and you have nothing to say. So I still want to help when I'm making these videos. I'm not just making the video to make the video. So what I wanted to talk about today is thinking from the end. So it's like when you are falling asleep and your wish fulfilled, and you're thinking about the person that you want to become and the person you look up to and that you would love to be, you're thinking from the end. Okay, you're not thinking of like that moment. Like if you, like I talked about last night, if you want to win the lottery, you want to think about already having the lottery win. Think of yourself from that place after you've already won, and the excitement of it has kind of died down a little bit and it feels like more natural. Like after you become that person who won the lottery, like how would that feel after? It would be more of a natural feeling and less excitement. All right, so you want to think from the end. And so when these things come up, like yesterday, I am able to push through on these things because I think of it from the end. Okay, if there ever was a time where my mind would come in, which was yesterday, okay, and say like, it's okay if you just miss today and you don't make a video, as I said, that would probably seep into other things because I didn't follow through on my commitment on one of my non-negotiables. But besides that, when you think from the end of that, and it is a non-negotiable and something that you said you were going to do, if you think from the end of that, like how would that feel if you went to bed and didn't complete something that you said you were going to complete, and you wake up the next day? How do you think I would feel today if I hadn't made that video, or if I hadn't completed one or two of my non-negotiables? I wouldn't feel like this. I could tell you that. I would feel a lot different. Okay? And so that is thinking from the end. So when those thoughts came in and were like, you don't have to make a video today, I thought from this spot, how am I going to feel waking up tomorrow if I don't make a video? And and then flip that around, how would I feel if I'm able to push through right now and make this video? All right, so you can, and I've realized that I do that a lot, and it was kind of like unbeknownst to me, but I really realized it this morning because I had to apply it a couple times yesterday, where I just, I thought from the end, and then that gave me the motivation, like, okay, this is the person, or you can ask yourself that question, like, what would, like I used that before, what would the person that I love and want to become, or the person that has all these things that I want, what would they do right now? Would they not make a video when they said they were going to make a video? Would they tap out right now and say, oh, this is too much simulation, subconscious, I'm not ready, I can't handle all this? How would that feel? Okay, so whatever you're trying to do, I know I come on here, I talk about there's no free will, okay, but there is free will when you're talking about the person you want to become. So you can use these things throughout the day to help you, okay, in moments like that. And when you can do that, that will step by step lead you into the place where it starts to feel more natural, and you're falling asleep in the wish fulfilled, and then you're waking up, and it's a gradual change. All right, but I wanted to share this quick story, this dream that I had last night, and I wouldn't have even remembered it unless my wife, I guess I was talking in my sleep and I woke up to a text. And apparently I had this dream last night where there was this somebody was making me eggs, and this dude accidentally like dropped a sock in the yolk. I saw him do it while he was making my eggs, and he dropped it in and then he pulled it out real quick. And I was like, I don't, I don't, you got to make me new eggs. I'm not going to eat those eggs. And then somebody else was trying to convince me that it's okay. You can eat those eggs. And then I said to him, I said, so you're telling me if you walked into a restaurant and you saw the chef dipping his sock in your eggs, you would still be okay to eat those eggs? And he replied, he's like, yeah, I would eat them. It's no problem. And then I said, all right, bro, you got to do what you got to do. But, I'm not eating those eggs. So the point of the dream, as crazy as it was, is that exactly what I was just talking about. This is your analytical mind trying to pull you back, and the person that you were trying to pull you back into those old habits and convince you to do something that you know is not what you want. And that's what yesterday was full of. And then so I got to experience that dream last night of somebody trying to tell me to do something that I knew wasn't good for me. And so since I was able to not, I guess, be convinced to do that yesterday, since I was able to fend those thoughts and and just follow through on my non-negotiables, now I'm starting to dream and have dreams of who I am now. If I would have had that dream 2 months ago, I would have probably ate those eggs and woke up and thought to myself, why am I so weak, like in my dreams? Like, who is this person? But that's the person I was. I was allowing myself to enter these states. I didn't know any better. But if you're not impressing the subconscious mind with the person that you want to become, you're just randomly accepting who you've always been. And so even though I wanted to be somebody different, you have to change your states of consciousness at night. And so your conscious mind controls the subconscious mind, but you have to decide now. You have to decide who you want to be. That's where it's all at. And then you take that into your sleep state and you will change incrementally. All right, so that's all I got for today. Enjoy your day. I appreciate all the comments and new subscribers, and I love like how people are starting to share their experience. So that's really cool, and I love you all very much, so much, and I will see you tomorrow. Enjoy your day.